Hey there, it's Lisa Chell with Modern Vegan Family, and welcome to Vegan Chick Chat, where we have a variety of amazing vegan women come together to share some of their life experience and inspiration. And today's topic is on what is that top priority, that number one thing that we would recommend either new vegan in transition, or maybe somebody who's been vegan for a while that's still struggling to get a handle around food, or just fitting in the vegan world. And because we all come from experience, a different level of experience, I'm going to let each of the ladies introduce themselves very briefly when they come on. But I'm Lisa Chell. I run a vegan vlog called Modern Vegan Family. I'm very active on Facebook and Instagram. And I do this strictly from my passion, because I was a carnivore until the day that I wasn't. I call myself like a T-Rex. I mean, I ate a lot of meat and eggs, and if I can do it, anyone can. So first person I'm gonna let introduce themselves and give their big tip is Laura Simonson. Oh, and that's Krishna in the background. That's my babe.
All right. Hi, I'm Laura Simonson. I'm the founder of Dog Canine in Vancouver, BC, and we're the first plant-based food company for dogs that's based in evidence. So we're working here at breeding trials, and we'll be heading to the commercial market within the next 6 to 8 months. And I'm also the founder of Vegan Vancouver, where I have a passion to support everything vegan business or vegan social organizations, how to start them, how to maintain them, and how to develop a network of people around you that supports you in a way that you just feel that you'll never be able to stop. And so for myself, to say I've been, I started in 1991 as a vegetarian, and it's interesting because my sister said to me one day, she had read a bumper sticker, and it said, "I don't want to be a living graveyard anymore." And it was something that just was a huge impact. I was already into mostly vegetarian foods by then. I had worked in dietetics in a senior's home. I was an athlete. Everything, food was so important to me, and I realized how important animals were to me, and I made the choice at that point to become vegetarian. Now that was even forward thinking back in 1991. I know some of you gals would remember that was not a time, it was you were really weird. And so at that point until 2 years ago, I was on and off vegan. I've been teaching vegan vegetarian. I catered for courses. I had fitness centers in Calgary where everybody that came in were either eating vegan or vegetarian. So the main thing that I found that made a big difference for myself and everybody that I have, really, they say I've inspired them because of the way I lived, would be not to be perfect. Perfection is I think the thing that we see within the vegan community and the movement is that we're all trying to be perfect. And by trying to be perfect, I think what we end up doing is we can sometimes cause fear and anger among people around us, because they think they have to be perfect, and we all don't want to be perfect, right? We do, but we know that we're striving for something that, being vegan, it's not possible even as a human to be perfect. And so I think if we can really allow ourselves just to lead by example, what feels right for me, and when I start to bring beautiful foods and talk about how it's caused me to feel more peace in my life, more really feeling like I'm living in alignment with my values. And when I can do that, people just feel it. They don't even say, how do you do it? What do you do? They're just like, can I come into your house and eat your food? And I want to learn more. So it's not. It was about perfection and leading by example. It's huge. So anyways, that would be my one of the things out of the several 27 years or now that I've been doing this. So.
Thanks, Laura. Great tip. And I do believe that it's up to us to try not to intimidate people out of going vegan. And that's really important, that we're not intimidating by that. Kathy, what's your thoughts on it? You're about in your 8th year-ish, as I am, going on 8 years. So
Yeah. So I'm Kathy McClellan. I live on Vancouver Island, and like Lisa said, I've been vegan pretty close to 8 years now. Vegetarian off and on before that. For me, yeah, it's not easy. I travel a lot, and sometimes it's hard to find food. And I've been lots of places where people have said you're the only vegan I've ever met in my life, and I'm like so surprised when people say that to me. But they do, and so there's still a lot of education to happen, and a lot of goodwill, and so that's kind of what I think is what keeps me vegan all these years, because I still I look at somebody who's eating some fish. I loved eating fish. I really did. I loved the taste of fish. I mean, it was good. It was my favorite food. I don't want to eat fish anymore. I'll look at it, but then I'll think, that was my friend, swimming in the ocean, so that's all I have to think about is the animal that is the fish on somebody's plate. And then I no longer desire to have that fish. So I always think of the animal behind. So that's one of the things that really drives me is, I don't want to hurt an animal, and I don't want to hire somebody to hurt one for me. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is health. I think that, so many of our major diseases and our healthcare system, we could be doing so many good things if we were having more plant-based diets, because we know that we would just eliminate so many of the big diseases right off the bat. It just makes sense. And then from an environmental perspective, we know that a lot of the practices around meat and agriculture are very dangerous to our ecosystem and to our environment, and is doing a lot of damage, and that doesn't even include all the animals that are involved. I mean, the cruelty and the way things are going. So I mean, I just have to think of those things when I see a piece of fish, or when I'm tempted, right? And I just think, I think, and I think you're so right though, Laura, also though, not to think about being perfect, because sometimes when I'm on the road, and I know a lot of bread is vegan, and sometimes I'm in a place where, I need a piece of bread, and I'm not going to get to look at the label, or they don't know what's in it, and I'm like, I'm having a piece of bread with some peanut butter on it because I'm really hungry. So, you do the best you can. You do I say I'm 99.9% vegan, because I don't know that absolutely everything that I eat is 100% vegan. So I try to make the best choices I can all the time. But the thing that keeps me there is I just think about my health, all the things that we could be spending money on other than, surgeries that don't have to happen, the things that, the medication that people don't have to take, all the discomfort that people go through in their lives. We could redirect that money, and we could be feeding homeless people and sheltering people and doing things that would advance our world. And so that, so it's all these things, like I say, that drive me and keep me vegan, because it isn't easy. It's getting easier. It's getting easier, because when I travel, more people are aware, and there are more options. But you're still going to meet a lot of people that don't agree with you, or feel threatened by what you're doing, or feel you're judging them. And so it's really that. And I think, Lisa, your philosophy when you said to me, extend a hand, not point a finger, that's been my underlying, that's the only way we're going to move things forward. So that's my 7, as many as I could get in a short period of time.
And I'm glad that you remember that, because actually one of my favorite sayings is extend a hand versus point a finger. And, I try to live by that too. All right, Melissa, Shayda.
Hi, I'm Melissa. Shada and I live in Los Angeles. I run all things Melissa Ann on Instagram, and I've been vegan for about 4 years. I would agree with all of you in saying that it is not always the easiest transition. It is a huge lifestyle change. But my biggest piece of advice for somebody that is new to this would be to never lose sight of the belief that brought you here. And for me, that was the animals. Once I realized that the animals that we were eating feel the same and love the same and are just as aware as the dogs and cats that we share our homes with, it was so easy for me to stop eating it. And I would lie if I say that in the first few months I didn't crave the texture of some of the things we are so used to consuming. However, I would just bring myself back to that belief of, no, this is not something I can support. And every time I choose to buy that and cook it and eat it, I'm saying that I support it. So whatever belief brought you here, I would say to continually remind yourself of that. I visit sanctuaries often just to always keep it fresh for me that these are the lucky ones. These are the animals that didn't end up being slaughtered and end up on a plate. And so that really helps keep the belief for me a forefront in my life.
Nice.
Cool.
Really
So
nice.
Shayda, you're a new vegan, so you get to share with the viewers today your perspective of what's keeping you strong and confident as a new vegan. What is that for you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Shada, and I'm a friend of Missy's, and being a vegan is something that I've been gravitating towards for a while now. It's really, really helpful having a supportive friend who lives right down the street.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, today is 3 weeks for me, so I'm very, very new vegan.
Way to go.
What's been helpful though for me is having a friend who's been able to help me with really planning out my week-to-week meals, feeling like I have a game plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think like we were just talking about, sometimes you just miss the texture of meat. And the other day I texted Missy and I said just that. I was craving red meat and I didn't want to cave because I feel like I've come so far, in this short period of time. And so I reached out to her and she made some suggestions that were really helpful. And she said, why don't we go to Whole Foods this weekend and do some meal prepping for next week. So I think what's important for me is making sure I have some exciting recipes that are different from the recipes from last week, keeping it new and exciting so I don't burn out, and just feeling like I have a plan in place for every week so that I can stay motivated and continue.
Awesome. Okay, so who's got the little doggy that needs a cuddle?
Oh, is that us?
I think that's mine.
I'm hearing a dog. It's okay, you can bring the dog into the chick chat.
Oh my gosh, we're outnumbered. We have 3 dogs here. They will totally be all over us.
Wow.
Oh, that's okay, people like
I
dogs.
want to come to your place.
Lisa, I just wanted to say that I'm so glad that Shayda was here and reminded us, because you know what, I forgot about, and I still am, I'm always looking for recipes too. And that's why I started Vegan on the Go, to give recipes and just share what we eat every day, because it is like, what do I eat now? And I'm doing a bit of a cleanse right now, so I've even taken a couple more things out of my restrictive diet, and it's like, oh, I can't eat that, and thanks for reminding us how important that is. And Melissa, what a great friend
Yes, absolutely.
that's wonderful. So that's so cool.
Only the best chicks come on to the show.
Yeah.
There you go. So cool.
So, you know what? My number one tip is going to be very practical because, of course, I agree with every one of you. And certainly at the heart of it, we always have to remember what our big why is. Because one of my other sayings is your why has to be bigger than all the why nots that you're going to see in front of you. Because if your why is bigger, because everyone is going to tell you why not to be vegan. But my number one tip is actually a little bit more practical. It's that our society has been trained through very clever marketing in the last few decades to buy into convenience and to get out of the kitchen. And I think one of the number one things that vegans in transition or who are struggling can do is get back in the kitchen, because many of us live in places where it is absolutely not possible to go out and get vegan food in a restaurant that is going to support your health, and you will end up being a sick vegan who will then give up and cave under the pressure of your family and your friends and your doctors, and then start to blame veganism, when actually the fact is the majority of people out there eat a very poor diet. If omnivores and vegans are in this, is that if you're always in a restaurant, you're eating too much of all the things that are not going to support your health generally, unless you have a wonderful, raw organic restaurant next door, which most of us do not. So I think being in the kitchen is really important. And if you think, I don't like to cook, I know nothing about being in the kitchen, recipes intimidate me, I would say to a new vegan, man, find 5 sauces that you can make either with a whisk or with your NutriBullet or something that you have handy, and learn how to make a Buddha bowl. You don't even have to cook to do that. You just have to chop. So if you go to the store and buy some veggies and you chop and you open a can of beans, if you learn how to bake a potato or make a yam and adapt to some easy sauces to that, you are going to be a lot further along than vegans who are just going for the packaged junk food. Right. And so it helps to have a friend like Melissa who is health oriented and who knows, or a friend like Kathy or Laura or me. We all like to cook. We all create recipes. We all share recipes. But I still think a lot of people are intimidated by that. They look at a recipe and they still go, I don't know how to cook. I'm not comfortable in the kitchen. You got to be comfortable opening up a can of beans or lentils. Comfortable putting a few ingredients in a NutriBullet and pressing bzzz, and comfortable putting some things in a bowl. You do not even have to be that proficient, because if you do not go in the kitchen at some point, chances are you're going to be an unhealthy vegan, because a lot of us don't have a place that's going to support our health properly on a plant-based diet. So my number one tip is get comfortable in the kitchen. And if you're uncomfortable, find somebody like Shada and Melissa have each other. I let people come and cook in my kitchen. They message me on Facebook and say, can we have a cooking day? Or I'll go to their place. And I think a lot of vegans are very willing to do that because we care so much and we want you to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's good to get out of the convenience store or the convenience section of the supermarket and get back into your kitchen. That's really important. And not to expect it to be perfect, like Laura said. And I know we're all in different places on the screen, but I'm looking at Laura below me. Just like Laura said, it doesn't have to be perfect. But we don't set a good example by being a junk food vegan and becoming unhealthy and then going and saying, well, it doesn't work, because it's not true.
Yeah. Can I just add one thing to that, Lisa? For those people that do cook, it's just a matter of cooking the same foods you've always cooked and just swapping out a couple of ingredients. Exactly. If you make chili, pizza, pasta, whatever you've always made, all you have to do is change a couple of ingredients. So it's easy for those folks too, right? Yeah. So on both ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely. This was great tips, and we're going to cut it short so that we can come back and have more Chick Chat conversations. As we close, I would like everyone to say this sentence: find me at, and then tell the people where they can find you. So I'm going to start. So find me on Instagram at modern_vegan_family. Find me on YouTube, Modern Vegan Family, where I do recipes, commentary, interviews, and Chick Chats. And find me on Facebook at Modern Vegan Family. And I do recipes as well. So Laura, where can they find you?
Dogfood.ca, DOGG. food.ca, and you can also find us on Facebook at Dog, and also Twitter, Dog Foods, and Instagram, Dog Foods. So that's where we are. It's like interesting because somebody said, well, that's really a cool brand name to have Dog Foods, and I'm thinking out loud, do we really want to call ourselves Dog Food? So I'm going to notice Dog Food. Anyway, so it's easy to find me at anything at DOGG. If you Google us, it comes up. Or you'll get Snoop Dogg, so both cool.
Kathy, where can they find you?
Oh, that's a good one. All right, so you can come to my blog at www.veganonthego.net. And mine is very easy too, because my Instagram is at Vegan on the Go. I'm all confused. So Vegan on the Go, type that in, and you'll either find me on Instagram or you'll find me at my blog.
Cool. Melissa?
You can find me at All Things Melissa Ann on Instagram, and then you are one click away from my blog from there.
Cool. And Shayda, do you have anything on the go yet?
Not yet, but if I do in the future, I'll definitely let you know.
All right. Looking forward to it. That's
Nice.
great.
And you can find me, I forgot, you can find me at modernveganfamily.com. So thanks for coming to Modern Vegan Family hosting Vegan Chick Chat. Join us again. I think we're going to probably do these every 2-3 weeks. It depends on how we can get together. And if you have a topic you would like us to talk about, message me on either Facebook or Instagram, and I would love to put that out to the chicks in the Chick Chat room. So peace, love, and plants, everybody.
See ya. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.